singing, don't know why.
Hi guys, it's Alyssa Lie, and you're listening to the hottest thing on campus, Radio Heatwave.
Radio Heatwave. Heatwave.
Hey there, you're with me, Daryl and Shauna, only on the hottest thing on campus, Radio Heatwave. Today we have local singer-songwriter Alyssa Lie, who made her debut in 2020 with her single Half Asleep. Also known for her winning placement in Singapore's Got Talent Open Competition 2020, and for making it as a finalist in Icon Search in 2018. She's here to talk more about her journey as a musician and to promote her latest single, Man. Thank you, Alyssa, for joining us today.
Thank you,
How
Alyssa.
are you doing?
So nice to see you guys.
Your latest single that you've just released last month, Men, talks about acceptance and letting go of whatever, burdens and problems we've had in the past. So can we just ask, not to start off with a very deep question, but what's the main thing that inspired you to write this song?
Well, when I wrote Mend, I think I was going through a period where I was writing a lot of heartbreak songs. And I think I just wanted to write something different because I just didn't always want to see the end of a relationship as something negative. I feel like I really wanted to reframe my perspective, and I was trying to look for the positive side of things. And when I wrote Mend, I was thinking, the ending of a relationship can also be the start of a really beautiful new beginning. And so I think that's where Mend came from.
That's interesting, and it's also good to try to diversify your song style, because if you always write sad songs, then it's like
exactly you be known as that heartbreak person.
Yeah,
That's a really good mindset to have. So even though we started off with some really deep questions, let's move on to the lighter side.
More lighthearted side.
More lighthearted. We'll get back to the deep ones later. So so after listening to your songs, they all have a very bright and vibrant feel, and they have a kind of folk country pop feel. So it's honestly a really unique style of music, and it's actually the first that I've heard from a local artist. So what was your inspiration to go for this style?
In the beginning, when I started writing, I never really thought about a style. I just thought this is a way for me to take my heart and put it out on paper and turn it into a song. And so every time I write it like it's a conversation. And because I do that, I try to keep it as simple and as straightforward as possible, so I don't go into really abstract things. I really want people to listen to the song and be like, hey, I can actually hear someone saying this to me. And maybe that's where the country-ish folk pop vibes come in. I think recently I've tended towards writing more pop songs, but I mean, that being said, I don't think I'll ever lose that essence of just wanting it to be simple and honest. Yeah.
It's really quite amazing how personal some of these songs feel. Like, I went to listen to your songs earlier, and honestly, Half Asleep kind of hit a chord in me. I was just like, whoa!
I love that song so much.
It was really good.
It came to me very, very strangely, actually. I just had a hook in my head, and I was like, I need to write this song. I know what it means.
You took out your notebook, you're like, okay, I need to remember this.
I took out my phone.
Oh, okay.
It's the notes app. Everything is in the notes app. As your music comes from so many different inspirations. You cited people such as Jordan Sparks, Britney Spears, and even Beyonce. And girl, you have taste. So
yes,
if you
indeed.
if you could collaborate with any one of your inspirations, who would it be and why?
Okay, I have so many musical inspirations, but I feel like if I had to choose, the first two people that come to my mind are Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran.
Oh my goodness.
Because
Taylor Swift.
songwriting style. Oh my god, I love Taylor Swift. I'm a Swiftie.
Yeah. Swifties
The
for
Swifties
life.
are coming out.
Her songwriting, I mean, both their songwriting, the stories are so clear. Every single song paints a very clear story, and that's what I love about it. And I want to sit in a room with them and just see how on earth they come up with these stories and how they come up with such catchy hooks, because I think that's what makes their song strong. And if I could perform with anyone, I mean, I love Ariana Grande.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I love Ariana Grande. It would be ridiculous to perform with Ariana, if ever.
You mentioned performing, and we actually did a little bit of digging. So we found out that you started learning the piano at age 5.
Very
So,
young.
Very, very young. Personally, I actually picked up the piano at quite a young age as well. So
cool.
we are pretty curious to ask, did your parents actually force you into it, or did you genuinely enjoy it right from the start?
I genuinely, from all that I remember, I love piano lessons. Like literally, I could not wait to get into the room and start playing the piano or banging on the piano, even if I didn't know what's going on. I loved it. I love music. I think even before I started playing the piano, I've always loved music. You can never force me to do music. I would do it on my own.
Oh, so it's kind of like a soul connection that you felt there.
Yeah, I love it. It makes me very happy.
I think it's good that you enjoyed playing piano, because I know a lot of people who started playing piano as a young age, right? They hate it, and I feel so bad for them. Like, piano is such a if I could learn piano at a young age, I would. Let's swap families. You know?
So true.
So you mentioned that you've always liked music as just a general hobby. So what was the defining factor that actually made you think that, hey, I want to pursue music as a career, as for a living?
The defining factor. Okay, there isn't one, but I think, as I mentioned previously, when I was really young, I would say maybe around 4 or so, if I remember correctly, 3, 4, 5 or so, when I was really, really into Barney and Friends.
Oh my goodness.
I wanted to
Barney.
be on
Girl,
Barney
same.
and Friends, you know? I was like, I want to be there. I want to be this kid playing with Barney and singing and dancing. Like, what a perfect life that would be. And I feel like that dream just never really left me. Like, obviously, as I grew older, I'm like, okay, I can't be on Barney. But, like, I can still perform. Yeah, and I think it just kept growing ever since then.
You cultivated your love for music. You even pursued a Bachelor of Arts in LaSalle.
Yes.
But if you could turn back time, would you have chosen to take a degree in pop music instead of what you took, which is musical theatre?
I think if I could turn back time, I would definitely have chosen pop music. I don't regret going to musical theatre at all. I learned so much. I gained so much skills. You know, singing, acting, and dancing at the same time is not easy.
Oh yeah, we can only imagine.
Definitely not.
And it was very fun. It was extremely fun. But I think if I could go back and I would focus really my style on pop, and I would focus my songwriting, like gearing more towards pop music, then, you know, I would choose that just because of focus.
I see. But if the chance permits, would you still join like a big musical production if you were given the chance?
I think I would. It'd have to depend on what musical it was.
What if you could choose like one big musical production that you would want to join and like travel around the world to perform, what musical?
She's rubbing her hands. She has a list.
She's thinking.
She knows.
I have a few. Okay, so
list them out.
So I think the most fun musical production to be in would be Gigi, which Vanessa Hudgens recently did on Broadway. Yeah, and it's just so fun, like, to be Gigi and to be dancing around and throwing balls and, you know, just having a ball of a time. That would be so fun to do every night. But then I think if it came down to really exploring characters and acting-wise, then I would have to choose Rent. Because I think Rent is... Yeah, it explores so many social issues. And I feel like that's what theatre should do. So if you want to make me rehearse, you know, for months on end and perform every single day, I feel like Rent would give me characters that I can really delve into and try and understand every single day. Yeah.
Seasons of Love is such a nice song.
Seasons of Love. Yeah.
Yes, girl, get it. Actually, going to questions about your artist journey. Before embarking on your entire journey, you have performed in musicals, hosted live shows, sung at weddings, and since then, you found such a genuine happiness in your writing your own songs and doing things your own way. So, what made you come to the realization that writing your own songs would grant you this genuine happiness?
Well, I think for me, the thing is, I started writing songs when I was really young, like maybe when I was 10 or 11. But then what I realized was that a lot of my songs I felt lacked substance because I felt like I hadn't lived enough of life to write good songs. And then when I graduated from LaSalle, you know, I was performing in all these different things. And even in school, I was always performing and I was always playing different characters. And I think I just reached a point where I was like, who am I? You know? You're constantly getting into different roles and you're trying to understand everybody else, but you don't even understand yourself. And so when I started writing songs, I was actually shocked because when I started writing songs, I was like, wait, they actually make sense. Like, they actually mean something. And I hadn't written since I was like, you know, young. So I didn't think that I could even come up with something that meant anything. And so when I did, I was like, wow, I can finally express myself. I finally have a voice. I have stories to tell. This is a way that I can bring that to other people, you know? And then I was like, and this is coming from me. This is not me putting on a mask. This is not me trying to be anybody else. And I felt very liberated. I was like, oh, I understand inspiration now.
The revelation, you're being
Yeah.
yourself.
It's the eureka moment, and she was just like,
It is.
got it.
Your first digital release, Half Asleep, you released it in June 2020,
Yeah.
which is during the heart of the COVID-19 outbreak in Singapore. You know, we're all still like at home, you know, thinking whether we'll go back to school or work, you know. So what made you decide to make a debut at this time instead of, you know, maybe waiting until performance houses have opened up again?
I think, you know, it's so funny that people say COVID was such an unpredictable time. I think as a performer, you know, life has always been unpredictable. So for me, it was nothing new. Yeah, and I felt like it was really a blessing in disguise because I've been so busy doing so many other things that I didn't really have that much time to focus on my music. Like, music would be in my free time, I did it. But then now I had 2 months of free time, so it was everything that I did. Yeah, and so actually it was amazing. It felt like, okay, finally this door has opened and I can walk through it. So why don't I just walk through it? I have nothing else to do anyway.
You mentioned that because of COVID-19, you have more time to work on music, what you love. And how did COVID, or in particular like the circuit breaker, impact our time at home? How did it impact your music journey and your journey as an artist?
Ooh, okay. I think...
Sorry, deep question.
I know.
We're back.
It goes like back and forth.
Yeah.
It's a metronome, I guess.
Yeah.
I think for me, the circuit breaker period, I spent the last few years, mostly the last 2 years actually, traveling a lot. And I really wanted to discover myself as well, and I wanted new experiences. And having the whole travel ban and not being able to travel and not really knowing when I can travel again, it's almost like I had to reframe my mind to be like, okay, you really need to focus now. You know, there's no escape, there's no, oh, today I feel like this, I'm gonna do that. There's none of that. You have to really commit. And I think in the beginning of 2020, I just committed to myself. And I just told myself, like, you know what, this year is gonna be for you. It's not gonna be for anybody else. It's not gonna be for, like, you know, these crazy experiences or whatever that's out there. It's gonna be inside here. And so I made 2020 the year of commitment. And I think because I did that, I could do so much with my music because I just committed to it. And I was like, no matter what happens, this is what I'm gonna do.
So with that, would you like to plug any upcoming releases or anything else except your concert?
Yes, I will be releasing, okay, so I am going to be releasing 2 more singles really soon, really soon. So that's going to be really exciting. And this year I'm working on a lot of music videos and also writing more songs. So we'll see. This whole year is going to be filled with new music releases here and there and everywhere. So I'm very excited for that.
So thank you, Alyssa, for joining us here today and talking more about your music. You're with me, Daryl and Shauna, only on the hottest thing on campus, Radio Heatwave.
Yeah, boy.